He who fights with monsters must ensure that in the process he does not become a monster himself. And he who gazes into the abyss long enough will see that the abyss gazes back into him. That was Nietzsche who said that. And I completely 100% relate and understand right now in my life. I've heard the quote before and I've had an inkling of what it meant. Now I can feel it. That abyss is, I gaze into the abyss. What is the abyss for me? It is this world. It is this world. It's society. And the monsters are most people. This society that is devoid of curiosity, devoid of moral fortitude, devoid of meaning, empty, shallow, hollow, emotionless, apathetic, sleepwalking into oblivion. That's the abyss. And the protagonists who are taking part are the monsters. And yet, what's it doing to me? Well, I don't think I'm a monster. But do I need to add the word yet? I hope not. I hope I'll never become a monster. But I am starting to feel a draining of empathy. And I hate that. After so long, well over a year, of trying to understand this world, this world that seems to have been condemned by the devil to I was going to say a slow and painful death, but to a pretty rapid, horrific ending. Because make no mistake, that's where this is heading. And to feel so detached from other human beings, from humanity itself, to feel so devoid of empathy of human nature now is, well, the only word that comes to mind is it's dangerous. It's dangerous for me. But yet that's where this society, this own personal experience of mine in my life has led me to. That's how I feel right now. To exist as a sane person in a world that has gone way beyond the realms of whatever insanity could be described as is a curse. A horrifically terrible curse. And yet, as I say, I don't like what that does to me. I don't like feeling that my empathy is draining away, that my sympathy is draining away. I don't like feeling that when the time comes, that I will say, and all I will say is, I told you so, and feel nothing, simply because the people deserve no sympathy, deserve no empathy, because they deserve their fate, their blind ignorance, their incomprehensible, unfathomable stupidity, which has depths that are seemingly infinite, and worst of all, the cowardice. So I've reached levels of anger in the last few days that have been destructive to me, really terribly destructive. mentally and psychologically and physically. But what I'm realising is that with all this negativity, with all of those concepts that I've described that I'm seeing, I've got to make sure that I don't become something as bad myself, which is why I'm doing this video. Because whatever happens, I will not. I'll always stand up for something. And if the moment came where it became impossible to stand up for something, I would pay the ultimate price. I would rather die a man with some dignity left in him than live a life like so many seem to be doing right now. So, it's interesting because, I've just got in from work. I was driving around, I saw the pub beer gardens, absolutely packed to the rafters. Until it got cold, because we're having cold nights at the moment, and then they emptied out really quick. Us British, we're really not very tough anymore, are we? Seemingly. Anyway, it's nice to see people out. From one perspective, it's normal for people to socialise with each other, isn't it? And I saw people and I thought to myself, I wonder what they're talking about. And I said, I know what they're talking about. They'll be talking about everything. They'll be talking about, COVID, the lockdown, the world. And then I thought, then I saw them stumbling around and pissed walking down the street, and for me that's heartwarming. I know it is, in this country, a nation of having a drink myself now, that is heartwarming. That is the old normal. That's what the UK is, isn't it? We're world leaders in many areas. Well, we were. I don't know what we're world leader in now, but we've always been world leading in going around getting pissed on a Saturday night. Wading through our own vomit on the way home, kebab in hand. That's refreshing for me. That's the old normal. Feels normal. I saw two girls last night rolling around on the floor in the car park, absolutely bladdered. And I thought, that's what we've missed. Stuff like this. That's the UK. It's partly why I love it. But how many of those same party goers from tonight, if and when there is the next lockdown, will just accept it? Oh, it's just another lockdown, because they've normalised it to such a degree now. People remind me of like dogs, not only in their obedience and their seeming loyalty to the government, loyal to the rules, loyal to the diktats, loyal to the new normal, but they're like dogs in that. When the time does come to go, they get really, really excited. When you let a dog out for a walk and it's at the door, it's scrabbling around, it's barking, it's wagging its tail, can't wait to get out. Well, that's what this week's been like. Which, if you think about it, is pathetic, isn't it? Because we're not dogs. Although some people don't have the intelligence of dogs, and I really mean that. As I've said before, we get to decide what society we want. We get to do that. We get to decide when and where and how many pints and who with that we have. Not Boris Johnson or the government. I'm talking about that. There are a number of different theories about what's going on at the moment and who's at fault. Is it a I've talked about the Great Reset on my videos before. Others say it's just tyrannical government. Others say it's government incompetence, and I'll listen to any view. I have my own view. What I will say is that just consider how organised the government have been with regard to their policies and procedures in the last year, and ask yourself, well, it's quite unusual, that, isn't it? However, I'm not interested in that side of things anymore. All I care about now, I'm fascinated with, I'm disturbed by, is people's reaction. We're all going to disagree on what the cause of these measures, why are we in the situation that we are in. However, we are in this situation. We are living in a society that is anything but free, anything but democratic, anything but humane, and anything but altruistic. We are there. Okay. What society and what people in their right mind will put up with what most people are putting up with? So yes, I have decided, just to bring this video to a close, I have got to the edge of my limits, what I can physiologically, physically, psychologically tolerate now. So I have to remove myself entirely from information and from as many negative influences as I can, and just be selfish. I'm going to carry on making my videos, but I'm off Facebook, I'm off WhatsApp. A lot of Telegram groups I'm not on anymore. Even though there's a lot of mostly good people who are trying to do good things, but it's just information overload all the time, and I need to pull back from that, and I also need to pull back from people, who are either completely brainwashed, feigning ignorance, or cowardly, or even worse, shouting about the situation and still being cowardly, looking around for others to do something about it. I've got to pull myself out of that, and I think things are gonna be quietish for the next couple of months now. When I say quietish, yeah, things are going to open up again to a degree before I would anticipate. It's pretty easy to read. It has been all along what's going to happen next. Midsummer, and then we'll start to see stories about a new threat, a new variant, whatever it is, and why we need to lock down again. And if people, when there's a fourth or a fifth lockdown, I don't even know what we're on now, if they accept that, well then I don't know. That'll be the final straw for me, probably. So I guess this is me, wanting to protect myself, a bit of self-preservation, and also the last vestiges of hope I have for humanity. Even living through the most godforsaken, vacuous, narcissistic, empty, hollow, ignorant, cowardly age that we live in. I can't lose faith in humanity, and I certainly can't lose faith in myself. So there we go. Please do subscribe. I will carry on doing my videos, because it helps me to articulate how I'm feeling, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay, bye bye.